What is this? Well, you say, that's an incredibly stupid question, Yiska. Is this kindergarten? Do I have to imitate cows in the next 5 minutes? It's a hammer. It hammers nails into walls, into boards. Like, what's your point? I say, well, my bad. I wasn't trying to play you, you know, for a fool. I just want to ask you what this is. And you say, well, this is getting ridiculous. What's this? It's Winston. It's a tank from Overwatch. Like, it shields people, has a lot of HP. It's a tank. Like, what do you want me to say? It's an ape. And I say, well, what is this again? Now, don't lose your mind over these questions, because there's a purpose to them. I mean, this obviously is a back scratcher, right? I can scratch my backs with them. Like, has nice edges here. Like, works. Now I have a point here, because didn't we just, like, qualify Winston as a tank and as someone that keeps others alive with his shield? Well, does Miro in his play do that? Does he not play it as an assassin? Did he not reinvent the way that Winston is commonly seen as? Did you not see the recent highlight reel where he knew exactly how far he could go out to catch that Mercy, and how he basically made Winston fly? Like, I mean, why do we have already, at this point, these preconceived notions? When we're talking about the beauty of Overwatch, this is the key feature for me. To find these individuals or teams that can reinvent what we perceive to be our reality. That can find the back scratcher usage as of the hammer. And this isn't only bound to hero and meta switches. There's no more nuance to it. Even though people are playing exactly the same heroes, the playstyles could be wildly different. Now, there are situations where your tools have such obvious upsides that you can't play any other way. And that is called overpowered metas, where one meta is simply dominating in one playstyle, and whoever executes the best will dominate that era. Well, the problem is, I think we've never been in that era, other than possibly during the time that we could still pick two of the same heroes. Even the nano-boosted Reaper ultimate was fairly solved at the end of it by Koreans by simply getting rid of the Zarya bubble early, anticipating it, and giving it the Reaper a nice Ana sleep dart. And this evolution in the usage of the tools, so the heroes, is what really excites me about Overwatch. Now you say, well, Yiska, you haven't really pointed out to us why it is Overwatch that is beautiful, right? That's you're basically describing a situation that I could apply to every game. Now that's true, and to which I would say, okay, let's define what Overwatch actually is. Overwatch is a game of space, so you need to capture that point, or you need to move the payload, so it's about covering an area for your team, and it's doing it about in a, you know, restricted time frame, so it's a game of space and time. Within this universe of space and time, you have certain tools, heroes you can use to solve the puzzle, and do it against other people. Now you have the same tools, and you can even switch tools within the game, which is a huge appeal to me. You technically don't have to adhere to the tools you have, and you could constantly switch, and the only reason we're not seeing this right now is either because some tool is simply too strong, or people are used to one tool and don't feel comfortable switching. Now, what makes it even more beautiful is that while we are exploring these things, these tools, and what they can do, every once in a while, Blizzard drops a new tool in the arena and says, well, what can you do with that? And I think they don't even 100% know what these applications could be, and are just as surprised as we were with Miro how these things can be used. And they probably get just as excited as us about these things. Now, make no mistake, we are basically in the late Stone Age, with the beta being obviously like Paleolithic stages, basically also what's Europe right now. And we're just developing our understanding of these tools to improve them and maybe morph them in completely different ways. Now, you could argue, for the history nerds, that the Korean scene is now slowly creeping into the mum and pottery period, so a little bit more advanced than the Western world. I guess we could have this conversation at a later point. But these situations where the individual or the team picks a tool and applies it is extremely satisfying to me. And if we're talking about the main subreddit, I think communicating why Overwatch has this beauty and what's so interesting and making it palatable for the casual crowd will inevitably lead to interest in the scene and will make Overwatch a huge esport, with the OWL being an absolute success. If we as a community can embrace this character of Overwatch, find out with pro players, go on to this frontier and explore with them and marvel at them and basically celebrate them when they find out something about a tool that we couldn't have possibly imagined.